All right, here we go. Testing out the billets. Now I was starting to reduce this one. I'm going to leave this for a little bit later. I'm going to be working on this one. This same material. And after this, I'm going to work on that. Since I should get the feel for it with this particular piece. Should. Famous last words. Okay. I will be reducing it with the billet. I have my abo kit available right here. I may try some of the smaller little billets, the whitetail. It's already getting beat up a little bit. All right. Okay. Now I just sat down. I haven't napped this morning, or I have not napped earlier today. So, and not much practice. I did do a little bit of practice on this little thing here. I said I was going to work on this. Let me just see if I can remove this lump here. Hold on. I got that step fracture, but I don't know if I'm going to remove that. I'll probably just leave it in. Probably shouldn't do too much of this with the billet because it wears it down, wears it out. And yeah, I'm using an artificial abrader. Oh well. Not completely natural tools. For you purists. So I'll keep it on this channel. This channel is impure. Okay. Now this little platform seems pretty good. It's actually kind of continuous, but right here hitting right there looks pretty good for trying to get at least some of that lump off. Now isn't that hitting kind of above center line? Won't that crack it in half? Yeah, it might. What's it going to take to get below center line? You can kind of see from the side here that to be center line I've got to remove about 1/8 of an inch minimum to get the platform to be down here, the bottom of the platform to be down here, from here to here. So it's center line. If I want to go below center line, it's even further. Now what if you have a sharp edge and a lump? That means to get down below center line, you're going to start from way out here, assuming it's going to be sharp and thin. The sharper and thinner it is, the more you have to remove to get below center line. So do I always go below center line? Nope, I don't, because it removes a lot of width. I was going to say it removes too much width, but that's subjective. I'm just going to say it removes a lot of width, which I don't want. So, is it risky to hit above center line? Yes, it is. Is it excessively risky? If you're new, yes. You got some experience, no. Not excessively risky. If you've learned to manage your risks over time, you'll go, well, according to how I've been successful in the past and how I've managed risks before. What does that mean, manage a risk? It means two things. One, making the decision whether to do it or not, and number two, knowing what to do to fix it in case it goes wrong. What if you break it? How do you fix it? Well, the only way to fix that is to start over. But that's not fixing it. That's not fixing it. Yeah, it is for me. That fixes everything. All right. So, a lot of times, the nappers who use this technique don't talk about speed. Speed is going to be the main issue here. Otherwise, I could hit it with a little hammerstone. Let's see. I'm going to get slightly off topic and go slower, right? I'm going to go slow. Let's pretend this is a hammerstone. Is this faster to hit with the hammerstone or with a swinging billet? A swinging billet. It's just physics, right? Why would you use a swinging billet if it wasn't because of speed? Is it because it just feels better? Yep, some people, they don't develop more speed, it just feels better. It's like, yep, I'm hammering with something, I like the hammering effect, it feels better. Okay, fine. But the reason why I'm going to be using this, and the reason why it's important from a physics aspect, is because it generates speed. And the reason why speed is important is because if that flake is removed quickly, it produces less of this motion, less pulling. Not less in terms of the power involved, the same amount of power, same amount of force, same amount of everything. It's the time elapsed between the start and the finish of the applied force. The longer the time span of the applied force, the more it will pull and it will start to stress the surface. The shorter the time span of the pulling, the less the stress or the less the shock on the piece. Now, isn't that counterintuitive for the times when people say that you need to slow down your strikes so that you can maintain contact with the platform and remove the flake better? Yes. But you are producing lots of stress. Now, if your biface can handle it, no problem. Do you see a lot of recommendations of slowing down your strike on a very thin piece? Or do you see a lot of, well, let's see, it's kind of risky, just remove it quickly when someone's working on a thin piece? Or do they hit it with something like a big old bopper and go slow? I think you'll find that the thinner it gets, the faster and more jittery the Flintknapping, right? Because you want to remove that flake before the biface knows what's happening, is the way I like to describe it. Okay, so that's a little bit behind the physics. So, all that said, now I gotta forget all that and just allow my subconscious to hit that platform. Get it set up, hit this platform here, and yes, I did isolate it, and no, it doesn't look properly isolated to me. Probably do a little bit better. It's kind of rounded. I think I could spend maybe 30 minutes on each platform and still not be satisfied with how it looks. And why am I not like this when I'm hitting with indirect percussion or normally? Why am I not worried about the platforms this much? It's because I don't care if it works or not on that particular area. I can just move over and try again over and over again. And if it's not working, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it because I'm doing opportunistic platforms. There's various reasons why I don't care about the way platforms look when I'm doing it my normal way. But with this way, I've got to make sure the surface is just right, the platform looks just right, because I've just got one opportunity. That's it. Okay? All right. And I could hit there, I could hit there. I still am, it's increasing the accuracy because I got a range here. I can hit anywhere along this flat facet, and this thing is sticking out, so it's easier to hit if the platform is isolated. But still, I still have the issue where I may not be holding it exactly right in this respect, and I could hit the side over here, I could hit this side, I could blast off 2 flakes instead of 1, that sort of thing. And to isolate it more than this would require losing more of the edge. No, I'm not complaining, I'm just showing you the process of isolating platforms slowly. I'm showing you slowly what happens. Now what about the guys that don't spend all this time on the platforms? They create a platform in like 1.6 seconds and strike it perfectly. Well, work on platforms for 20 years and get back to me and then ask me the same question. Yeah, right. The question won't be there because that's why they do it that way, because they've been doing it for 20 years. All right. Here goes. I'm going to swing fast. Fast and hard, and I did hit that platform pretty good. It hit a rough spot here. This is kind of a goobery spot right there. Goobery means different consistency. Boogery might be another term for it. And the swiping motion is what saved me, I think, because if I would have hit it with just a gouging motion, I probably would have just scooped it out and it would have stopped, you know, much shorter. But since it's swiping, we have a contact with the platform for a longer period of time as it's released, and it produces a longer flake. Now, as I was saying before, if it's a heavy slow bopper, it does the same thing, but it does it with the lack of speed. With a lack of speed, you need a much shorter contact area, right? With a high amount of speed, there's going to be more scraping, so the contact area has to be longer. Okay, for the same amount of time it takes for that flake to come off, a higher speed means it's going to be dragging along this facet for a longer period of time. So if you have slower speed, you can have a rounded billet because the amount of time is shorter. That means the drag or the scraping distance is shorter also, so it can be rounded with a heavier, slower billet. Okay, I think maybe I've explained that to death, so I won't do too much more. You can watch that section over and over again. Rewind, slow motion, 1/2 speed, whatever. Now I'm going to try to first, create kind of a continuous platform and then decide where to isolate it. I think that's the easiest. Just go down and make a continuous bevel or platform or whatever you want to call it. Seems to be the easiest approach. And then figure out where you're going to hit, right? And then isolate that area that's the platform of where you want to hit. So let's see, I'll do some of this edge work here. Maybe send in a few flakes that I want to get rid of some of this lumpy stuff. Some of the lumpy stuff I might be able to get rid of with pressure. Anyway, I'm not here to take that lump off. I'm here to take this one off, so let's go back down here. And then we'll get back to the other material. So let's see, what do we talk about? I got some dislikes on the last video. I wonder if I got some people angry about talking about people getting angry. It almost seems like you want to get people angry, man. I have this weird fascination with what makes people angry, I have to admit. I do have to admit that I'm fascinated by what makes people angry. What's also fascinating is sometimes the anger is not real. It's fake anger. I'm not really angry. Anger tends to make you look like you know what you're talking about. I don't know what it is in the human mind, but if you get angry and upset about something, it looks like you have some kind of righteous knowledge. Like, yeah, I guess he's in the know because he's talking forcefully. That's something that we should pay attention to. It's just a human natural response that's pretty stupid, I think. But, you know, there's a lot of responses that are pretty stupid. That's why we can't depend on emotions all the time. Anyway, I'm going to hit into that boogery spot right there pretty hard again. Is it risky? Oh yes, it's risky. Well, oh well. Alright, so you don't want a lot of grippiness going on here because you want it to slide. You don't want it completely smooth because then it'll reduce the amount of force going inward. No, not inward, but peeling force downward, I meant. Okay. You do want it to peel downward, you know. You do want that, but you also want it to be not too grippy. Alright, so let's see what happens. Yeah, I hit way too high. Okay, but it was a perfect hit. Right in the center of the platform. I just figured out I could zoom in without bringing it closer. There it is. I can zoom in without bringing it closer. Okay, so where's the platform? Right there. Right? I was very careful to prepare that. It split the platform. Now, was I bridging it? Did I have my thumb pushing on this side? No. All my pressure was basically right here, top and bottom. We can rewind and see. Anyway, what I felt like happened was that I hit too high. I might have even hit it with this part because I was looking to make sure that I hit lower on here so that I would have a good amount of space for it to slide. I think I may have hit high, or it's just too much force downward to snap it. But yeah, when you're hitting to get rid of these turtlebacks, you are hitting with enough force to break it on almost every hit. Just like I did on this side. I could have broken it on this side too. Now, is it possible there was an incipient crack here that caused it to break there? I suppose. I mean, the stress, if it's bending, you know, it really doesn't care if the crack starts here or here. And this could be just a coincidence But I don't think so. I think the applied force is what made it split there. But yeah, it could have opened up from here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't care where it opens up from. If it's bending in this area, you know, if it's bending there, it'll expand from here or here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't care. The biface doesn't care. Okay. So yeah, I could have had an incipient crack there. Oh well. Another raw piece down the dust, down the tubes. Bites the dust. All right. So how did I get rid of that turtleback? You didn't show us how to get rid of it. Yeah, I did. It's not here, is it? Nice. Let's take our minds off of the not being able to get the turtleback and look at this cool blade that can skin an animal with. Yeah, let's talk about something else. Well, let's see. What do I do here? Let's look at the time. 21 minutes. 21 minutes you'll never get back because I didn't get rid of that turtleback. Well, I tried. People watch sports, right, all the time, and it's just nothing but trying. Tried to make the goal, tried to hit the ball right, tried to get it in the net or whatever. All right, so I'm beating up the billet just because it's easier. Probably should be doing this with something that's not the billet, but I think it's not a bad idea to use the billet so you can get used to how it feels. You don't make mistakes like I just did and hit too high up on the platform or whatever. So now that I'm thinking about it, on second thought, it might be good to just stick with using the billet for as much as possible so that you can get the feel for it. Okay. Right. Learn from mistakes. Learn from mistakes. All you learn from mistakes is that you learn you're a dummy. Well, some of us learn that we're dummies. I already know I am. I don't have to learn that. I've been on Facebook lately, right? Looking around on Facebook. Oh yeah, that's one thing I was going to discuss. I keep getting asked, how do I find a nap-in? When I recommend a nap-in, go to a nap-in, man. You'll find a bunch of stuff there. You'll find rocks. You'll find people that'll tutor you. You'll find advice on all kinds of stuff. Maybe you need to change a transmission on your truck. There's people that know how to do that there too. They won't do it there, but they'll tell you how to do it, maybe. People from all walks of life attend these nap-ins. Anyway, I was looking on Facebook to try to get information on a nap-in for this guy, for a friend of mine, Instagram friend or Facebook Messenger friend or Google Chats friend or whatever the interface was, Hangouts, I don't know. Anyway, I get so many different messages from so many different people that I can't keep track. Was it a text message? Could have been a text message. He was looking for a nap-in, or he didn't know how to find one, so I went on Facebook. You guys on Facebook that are not updating your nap-ins, or you're a part of a nap-in group, like a group that promotes nap-ins. If you're not updating your Facebook page, I'm going to start ragging on you guys. Get your act together. I saw some outdated posts and a lot of nap-ins not being advertised. Two sins right there. You need to post the current nap-in, not the one from 2019. Let everyone know if there's still a nap-in there or not. Like if it's been canceled, no longer at the venue has changed, whatever. Update your stuff. I may have to start doing it on this channel, because I spent an hour and a half like a dummy that I am, looking for nap-ins near South Dakota. And I found one in Kansas. So I recommended the one in Kansas. But I'm sure there's one in South Dakota somewhere. I just couldn't find it in that hour and a half. And I go to a page, I scroll down. I know there was a nap-in somewhere on this page, right? These guys are Flintknapper from that area, so I keep scanning down. Well, I guess not. I scanned through 40 posts. Okay, let's go to the next guy. I think might have pictures of a nap-in. I think I saw somewhere around here. Scan down. No pictures. Well, he's got like 1,400 pictures of his latest deer, which is not a bad thing, but you know, I'm trying to scroll through looking for when he's attended the nap-in. Where is it and stuff? Can't find it. It's probably there somewhere. I do a search and I get a bunch of other people, and not related to nap-ins. It just, the word nap comes up. You find links to people that have the word napper in their posts. Nap as far as nap instruction, tutoring, people who tutor in napping, napping as part of survival skills. And you just find all kinds of stuff that just clogs up your search. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to do the posting the nap-ins here on the channel myself and add that to the list. I think the list is up to over 100 items now of stuff I got to do. Start posting nap-ins, updated nap-ins. What's the most popular question I get besides how to make points thin? Where do I find rock? Where do I find it, man? I mean, rock is the most plentiful thing on the planet. Where is it? Oh, God. Sorry. Yeah, it's at nap-ins. Okay. So let's see. Let me take a breather and we'll continue on the next segment.